Hey everybody, welcome back to Colony Drop, your favorite Gundam podcast. My name is Isaac.
And my name is Brian, and this is a podcast where we talk about anything and everything related to the Mobile Suit Gundam franchise, from the anime to the music to the movies to the models to the shows to the lore to the food to the clothes. Isaac, you name it, we do it all.
That's right, Brian. We even talk about top 5 lists. Isn't that right, Brian?
It's been a while since we've had a good top 5 list, and we've had a few top 5 ideas floating around. This is the first one that bubbled to the top in a little while.
A few floaters.
Oh.
Right at the top there, going in circles.
Just huge floater ideas.
That is a big floater.
Oh, man. This one tickled our fancy a few episodes ago, and we added it to the list, and it sounded good for tonight, so I think we're going to roll with it. And tonight, Isaac, we are going to name our top 5 evil-looking Gundams in the Universal Century.
Wow, Brian. Yeah, tonight is top 5 evil-looking Gundams. Myself, personally, Brian, I put them in order of least evil to most evil. I assume you did the same.
Yes, I think that's true.
This is kind of a pretty interesting topic, Brian, because as every listener should know by now, Gundams are the good guys.
Yes,
almost
that's
all
right.
the time.
Almost.
Yeah. So how can a Gundam, which is a good guy, look evil? By default, shouldn't that be impossible, Brian? Shouldn't it?
You would think, yeah. I mean, you're right.
Yeah.
Traditionally, it's the heroic, it's the light colors, the colorful blue, red, yellow, white. I thought the same thing as I was making this list. I was like, how is Isaac doing this? He must be beside himself. He must be of two minds on this one, because he loves evil, but he hates the Gundams, and he's trying to find evil Gundams. So did you have a hard time making your list, or how did it come to you immediately?
I sure did, Brian. So, all right, I sat down and I was like, okay, I definitely know a few that are going to be on the list. And then after a while, I was like, oh boy, this is a pretty hard, this is a pretty challenging,
Yeah.
So I dug through the Universal Century, which is what we're doing today, listeners. We're doing Universal Century top 5 evil looking Gundams. Ironically, this might have been good for Halloween, but you know what? It still works.
It'll be the last one that comes out around Christmas, New Year's time. Perfect for the holiday season.
Happy New Year. Here's evil. So yeah, I had some ones that were in the front of the pack in this little race to see who would make it to my list out of all the Gundams. And some other ones I had to really scout for, Brian. I had to really dig in deep. But you know what? I think I got a pretty strong list, Brian. How'd you go about putting together your list?
Well, I had 3 that I knew would be on my list from the get-go, and then I had a few other contenders, and then I kind of moved some of those contenders over to the honorable mention list. And I do think this was a little bit hard to put together, because like you said, there's not that many evil-looking Gundams, and I did limit it to Gundams. I didn't do mobile suits. I did Gundams.
Yeah, me too.
I'm wondering how much of an overlap our lists will have, so we might end up having the same list, but probably not exactly. I think I have a few surprises in there.
Interesting.
I had to look at all factors. I feel like it needed an evil physical appearance. It needed to make me feel uncomfortable. It needed to be not heroic on first sight, where you look at it and you're like, oh, I don't know about that one. That one seems like a bad guy.
Yeah, in terms of Gundams, like an evil Gundam, looking at it, at least especially for the UC, sometimes you kind of have to go into your head a bit and say, okay, the pilot of that's probably an ass.
Right.
Even if they're not in actuality, but some of these designs, it's like, wow, really? This is what they made?
All right. Shall we get into the lists, Isaac?
Let's do it, Brian. I have 5 in order of least evil to most evil looking, in my opinion, but I even have one honorable mention, Brian. By chance, do you have any honorable mentions?
I have 3 honorable mentions, and then I have my top 5.
Wow. 3 honorable mentions. Brian, you really had a tough time figuring out that 5th place spot.
I did.
Okay, well, I want to hear more about this. Let's start with your 3 honorable mentions then. Let's see who lost the fight really for 5th place.
Okay, my first honorable mention was a suit that I really wanted to put on the list, but I kind of couldn't. Let me explain why. And that is the Kasai Gundam or the Z Gundam from Hathaway's Flash / Mobile Suit Gundam Hathaway the movie. This is the mobile suit that Hathaway pilots, obviously, in the movie or the novel. It was developed by Anaheim Electronics in secret, and it was sort of clandestinely sold to MAFD, Navu Aaron, aka Hathaway Noah. That great scene, Isaac, where he picks it up in orbit, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's always looked the most evil for a protagonist Gundam to me. And the reason why it's not making my list today is because I don't think the new design for the movie is quite as menacing as the original design. It's a little bit toned down. It's less curvy in sort of like a sterile way. And they've redesigned it, I think this is at least the fourth time now. And I feel like every time they redesign it, it loses a little bit of its edge. This is a very visual episode, so I'm going to paste a bunch of pictures to Isaac so he can see the timeline. So originally, when it came out, it was very angular and curvy at the same time, and just kind of not very Gundam-like. And then it was redesigned a little bit for the games, for SDG generation games, and it still looked really cool. But it was given some colors. They ironed it out a little bit, straightened it out, and then Hajime Katoki redesigned it for Gundam Fixed Figuration, which is a series of action figures, and then it started to get a little more normal, a little more plain. And I still think it was better than the one in the movie. And now the one in the movie is my least favorite of all the designs, and so I feel like it's lost. It's still very evil, don't get me wrong, but it's just not as evil as it once was. And I feel like for that reason, I can't put it on my list.
They're definitely busy.
Yeah. Oh, it's still very busy. Yes. The original design is by Yasuhiko Moriki. He did the novel as well as the redesign for the G Generation games. Even Hathaway, in the original designs, looks a lot more like a brat, if you'll see. It was given the blue, I believe, either from the G Generation games or from the novel covers, which were done by another gentleman named Haruhiko Mikimoto. It still looks pretty cool in the novel covers. I really like those illustrations as well. And then, the Katoki designs. I love Hajime Katoki, but I kind of feel like the same way about his design of the Kasai or the Z as I do about his redesigns on the Crossbones. I feel like they just kind of lose a lot of their edge.
Yeah.
Does the Kasai Gundam, I don't know if that's on your list, but does that strike you as somewhat of an evil-looking Gundam, Isaac?
So it almost went on my list. I almost went to Hathaway's Flash. And what stopped me was I came to the conclusion so much that it wasn't not necessarily evil, but it was just angular and a lot going on. And I've said this before about the design. I think it's too busy. We're kind of getting to Gaia gear almost. And the top heaviness of it, we're pretty much at Death Scythe. So there's too much going on, I think. But it was pretty close to getting on my list. And then I just, I backed out and said, it's not evil. It's just crowded.
Okay. So one thing before we leave the Kasai, to back up a little bit, in the movie, the Gundam is pretty much all white, which I find a little bit boring. They did that because that is how it is in the original illustrations. Even though in the original illustrations, it's not so white. I feel like they chose a too white, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But someone added the blues from the G Generation games and added back the more teal color white, I'll say, and it looks a lot better. But I have to say my favorite new coloring on the movie version is someone did a new Gundam color version, and I gotta say that looks pretty evil and I like it a lot, and I feel like that should be a thing.
Yeah, that's definitely evil. Wow. That'd be like the Manhunters version that they send out or something.
Absolutely.
Wow. Great color uses though, man.
Yeah.
If Amuro lived, pretty much.
I feel like Hathaway would use a new Gundam color scheme as well, since he both sort of idolizes both Amuro and Char, so it kind of would fit, I think, but
yeah.
What do I know?
I think he more idolizes Amuro, but that's a different podcast episode.
Sure. Coming next year. Okay, number 2 on my list is the Psycho Gundams Mark II and Mark IV, not the Mark I and the Mark III. These are not on my list because they are technically mobile armors, so I don't know, I didn't feel like I should put them on the list, but they are definitely evil looking. Mark I is a little too goofy for me. Or Mark II, though, from Zeta and Double Zeta, and then G-Quux, I guess, piloted by Rosamia and Pull 2. That one was clearly evil upon first sight. That's like the dark purple one. The face is way more evil than just the normal Mark I one. Disgustingly powerful.
Absolutely.
Very evil. But again, too big, I think, to be considered a Gundam. It's more of like a mobile fortress, I guess. The Mark III, Isaac, I didn't even really know there was a Mark III, but it's only from a video game. It's from the first version of what came to America as Gundam Battle Assault for the PlayStation. That was actually like the second version of that video game. I believe there was a first one. I think it was called Gundam Battle Master in Japan. And that was an original suit for that video game. The Mark III just looks a little goofy to me with its like weird flared out shoulders, and I kind of feel like they kind of went overboard on the chest. That was a step back in evilness for me. Now the Mark IV though, I think if the Mark IV
a Mark IV.
The Mark IV, I think if the Mark IV ever had a chance to be shown again, I think that might be the most evil of them all. Now, there are two Mark IVs, Isaac. I'm referring to the Mark IV, the original Mark IV, which is from an article that had some art. It was called Mobile Suit O Gundam New Types Light. It was a parody article in the March 1986 issue of Out magazine. It was written by someone named Tetsuyuki Otomino, and it was a satirical retelling or alternate take on Double Zeta. It involved like Haman's little brother or big brother, I don't remember, basically taking her place, and the Psycho Gundam Mark IV was stolen and piloted by Sayla, who is now going by her real name of Artesia Daikun, trying to meet up, with Char. And there's not very much art of the Psycho Gundam Mark IV from this article, I guess you'll call it. But it looks very evil, especially compared to the Mark III, which I think looks kind of goofy. Mark IV looks quite imposing. There's another Gundam Mark IV from the manga called Moon Gundam, but it's called like the Psycho Gundam Mark IV G Doors. It's the one that the head ends up coming off and becoming the head of the Moon Gundam, but that's another podcast.
Oh my god.
I don't know why they're both called the Psycho Gundam Mark IV, but they look very different, and that is not the one I'm referring to.
Wow. Well, God, Artesia, why would you pick colors so close to your brother? Ridiculous.
I don't think anyone's ever translated that thing, but anyway, you can go read about it on the wiki. I don't think it's fully fleshed out, but it looks pretty imposing. I think that one might have been the most evil looking out of all of them. I can't even find a full art for the whole body. It's just kind of like the torso and up.
The face is very Char's counterattack. Like the beak is very Yagdo.
Yeah.
I like it though. I like it, and yes, I agree. Mark III is clearly a mobile suit they designed to be a boss in a video game.
You're right. It just has that video game look, right? Of like, someone gave it to the person who doesn't usually do this and they went too far.
And as you're beating it up, like the shoulder pads will fall off and like the chest will fall off and like, it starts flashing red.
So those are my two honorable mentions. I have a third one, but I have a feeling that it's on your list, so I'm going to save it and I will reveal it if it's not on your list.
Interesting. Well, let me mention my honorable mention. And let me just say that this is one that you absolutely know, because this mobile suit, it's piloted by a good guy, if not the good guy, in the Universal Century. Yet it is very intimidatingly colored and devastating on the battlefield. Although we didn't see that much of it, it's the suit he goes down in, Brian. It's the Gundam RX-93, seen in Char's counterattack.
A man after my own heart, Isaac. You think this is evil looking because of the black or what?
Pretty much. And also, if you look at the face details itself, this is a Gundam that's like not in a neutral facial expression. It's ready to like just finally end Zeon. Like, this is it. This is the Gundam we're sending out. It's a little upset. It's just had enough. So it's going out there. It's got some dark colors on it. It's got Amuro's cool little A with the unicorn. It's had enough. So I decided to put it there. Not quite evil, but intimidating enough that it'll be put on the honorable mention category for myself.
That was a big factor for me. You mentioned the face. A lot of my evil-looking Gundams have very evil-looking faces. And to your point, you could say the original Gundam, it wasn't like a happy look, but it was certainly more neutral. I like that description. Most of my choices are going to have exactly what you said, of a non-neutral. They're more menacing. I don't know if it's the little mouth V's being more upside down or just more angular, or the eyes being more angular or thinner or something. But there's definitely a lot of expression in these robot faces that can tell you whether...
Definitely. The face has so much of the personality in it, despite the coloring or design of the rest of the body. So that's a big part of it. But I guess we need to get our list started now, Brian. Let's start with your number 5.
All right, my number 5. I'm going to go, like you said, from least evil to most evil. Some of these are hard to judge. I definitely know what I think the most evil one is. But this is a very uncommonly discussed suit, and it is the Gundam Mark III. From the Zeta Gundam Mobile Suit Variation series, designed by Kazumi Fujita. This was built by Anaheim, based on the 2 Mark II units that they disassembled after Quattro's team stole them all. Remember in Zeta Gundam, Quattro's team goes in, they steal all 3 Gundam Mark IIs that the Titans have made. They put one back out in the field and repaint it into the AU colors. But the other 2, we don't really see again, because they take them back to Anaheim, they disassemble them, and they, learn what they can, and then they go from there. And the Mark III was supposed to be like the improvement from everything they learned. It has very slender proportions, Isaac. It's like longer than normal, I feel. And it has a very long face. It's very angular, which makes me feel uncomfortable. And everything that it has is also very long, so it really adds to the look. There's like a long rifle, a very long beam rifle, a very long shield. The default color is this weird sort of like light gray purple.
Yeah.
And it has very bright red accents, which is unsettling. That certainly does not seem heroic or friendly. I don't know what your what your first thought is when you see that, but I don't think, wow, that's a good guy.
It's very Megatron.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, it's very sort of in between G1, Megatron, and Galvatron, right?
You're right.
And they made a variety of these units. One unit was painted red with a red anti-beam coating. It was made for Char right after his speech at Dakar. But unfortunately, when they went to transport it to Char, the transport was interrupted. It was attacked by some Axis forces, and there was a pilot who got in it. He fought off the Axis forces. He was successful, but the unit was damaged and had to be taken back for repairs, and by that point it never got to Char. They do make a Re-100 model kit of this, which is pretty rare. I think they reprinted it not too long ago. But there are other Gundam Mark IIIs, Isaac, and I am not talking about those ones. There is a AU version of the Gundam Mark III called the Eagle, which does not look evil at all. There's also at least three more Gundam Mark IIIs on the Titan side. I think only one of which has art, but I believe they probably all look mostly the same, just with different like backpacks or equipment packs or something. Yeah, I'm not talking about that one either. Yes, so that one is called, I think, the Halpui or something like that. I am referring to the one called the MSF-007 Gundam Mark III, which is the one that has the model kit. So I think that one is unsettlingly evil in like a sneakily way.
Yeah, man. This was a great pick, Brian. We don't get that many long, slender, tall mobile suits in general in Gundam.
Right.
Maybe in 00, but that's such a
at least not the UC.
Game.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
It's very also, I like that we see like the early design of a Hyakushiki. The general proportions and the gangliness of it. Yeah. Because Hyakushiki is not a very chunky mobile suit.
Not a great compliment. It's just a very gangly mobile suit.
It's a skinny suit. I guess Char really had enough of Zeon designs where everything's like so bulky and bloated, and he was like, no, I'm a fast guy. Give me something lean, you know? But yeah, great choice, especially the red. Well, the red one and the Megatron purple. Those are both good choices for the number 5.
I actually think the Megatron purple is a little more menacing than the red one. The red one, I get it. It looks evil, but the purple one is like I said, unsettling.
Yeah, and as you pointed out, nobody on any side in really any war or series in UC ever has a color like that. That's really rare.
Yeah, not until like the Crossbone Vanguard kind of. They have some kind of purplish ones, don't they?
That's true, but
40 years, 50 years later, I mean.
Yeah, but not this much purple. This is a lot of purple.
No, yeah, this is a lot. It's a lot of purple. I guess there was that guy in the sleeves. He had a purple suit, Garazulu or something, but that was very purple. Not like this purple.
Oh boy. Well, good choice, buddy. All right. Next, number 5 on my list is actually a recent addition to Gundamology, Brian. To the Gundam Rogues Gallery, the roster of Gundams. This showed up last year in, I don't think it was controversial, but definitely talked about Gundam series that we will call Requiem for Vengeance, that premiered on Netflix. And the Gundam I'm talking about, Brian, is the Gundam EX, which, as you recall, was pretty much just a ground type Gundam hanging around Eastern Europe in the show or the miniseries Requiem for Vengeance. Now, this Gundam itself wasn't anything special in terms of like weapons and stuff that it had, but it might be the only Gundam on record that we have in canon that's able to make its eyes red and glow at night. So, for that reason, and for the intimidating power it had, the menace it had in the show, the foreboding evil it generated, I added it as number 5 on my list.
I like it. You know, looking at it now, I can't believe I overlooked this one. We talked about this when we reviewed the series, but I mean, the goal of this one, I think, was to create a Gundam that's the bad guy Gundam, right? Like, where the Federation is the bad guy. And you take one look at this thing and you think, okay, this is not good news. You know, to the extent that I think, what was your idea before the show started? We thought it would be better if that was their sort of hallucination of what the White Devil actually was. Like, that was what they were seeing from their perspective.
Exactly. Yeah.
Tinted by their fear. I still think that's a better series than what resulted. It's the red eyes, plus it's all of just like the general design is it's much more mechanical and less smooth than we usually get. It's kind of like a Gundam RoboCop or something.
The stiffness to it, the inhuman inhuman movements. Sure.
Yeah.
I'll take it. But yeah. Gundam EX, number 5. I put number 5 really also because the low bar for number 5. Evil Eyes is enough to kind of get you in there for my placement.
I mean, it had a good showing in the show, too. It was quite powerful.
Until it gets killed.
Well, the guy wasn't watching his back, right? He was also like, didn't he? He was like 16, right? He seemed pretty young.
He kind of had it coming, though, because you never listen to like a peace agreement coming from the enemy. Like, it has to come from your own chain of command.
And then that goof in the back. All right, right in the back.
All right, buddy. Who's your number 5?
All right. We've talked about this before. There's not a whole lot of surprises left on my list here, I don't think. But I'm going to put Gundam Unit 2, GPO2, as my next one, piloted by one of Isaac's favorites, one-year war ace, Anna Delgato, in the 0083 Stardust Memory OVA. What else needs to be said? I've already discussed on other episodes why this one is a great evil Gundam to me. Its whole purpose was to nuke something, Isaac. If that doesn't scream evil to you, then I'm not sure, what would. What I've always liked about this one is, this is early 90s. We have a lot more Gundams today than we did back then. And I like that this one used a very off-white/gray color that's not the normal Gundam white. It's often portrayed in different colors, different shades. Everyone likes to joke that you don't really know what color the GPO2 is because it always appears differently in different media. But I think the proportions are way more evil. The shoulders are huge. It's got those huge, lower legs. And they all relate to its purpose, right? It needs the thrusters to counteract the bazooka. It needs the legs for the base.
Yeah.
So I get that. The face isn't quite Zeonic, but it feels lifeless or like an old soulless robot that has a one-way mission. It doesn't want to talk to you, Isaac. It's got the longer V-fin, but it's flatter. The eyes, it's got this weird sort of ancient transformer mouth. And I think the series uses light very well and shadow to make this feel very evil and imposing at points, particularly when it arrives during the fight at night and Ko gets glimpses of it, and then when Gato has it in the background behind him and Delaz, when Delaz is making his declaration of war speech.
Yeah.
I think this is a standout evil Gundam that it's a more common one that most people might have seen, right? So I chose the Mark III before this. Hardly anyone's ever gonna have heard about the Mark III unless you're a Gundam nerd and go on the internet. But everybody is, may have seen the GPO2, so that's my pick for number 4.
Great choice, Brian. And yeah, the face itself is like an evil mummy almost, or like a pharaoh that came back to the dead and is just upset. The curse reborn.
Yeah, it's unnerving. It doesn't like you when it looks at you.
Yeah, the eyes. It's just a sinister looking suit, and what a great design. I was thinking about Unit 2, and I thought to myself, this really seems very un-Cohen. Cohen,
oh yeah,
he signed the paperwork, but he probably had no idea what the final design would be. And then I wonder how he felt about it, but we'll never know.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the other units, Unit 0, 1, 3, 4, none of them look evil like this one. So they must have given this one to a different guy. This
must have been, this is probably the Zeonic team or something.
Right.
Or a Proto-Titan team. Who knows?
All right, Isaac, what's your number 4?
Okay, my number 4. This might get me into some controversy, Brian, but I'm going to go with it anyways.
We like that.
Yeah, this Gundam is very soulless looking, faceless, and even alien, I'd say. Quasi-xenomorph almost, especially its head shape. And the Gundam I'm talking about is, in my mind, from the Universal Century, but it takes place far into the future, so far that they no longer call it the Universal Century. Because I'm talking about Gundam Turn X, which is from the series Turn A Gundam. And according to the series Turn A Gundam, based on Dark History, which is sort of a secret history that they've maintained partial records from, at least, the entire Gundam series, every Gundam series, is actually part of humanity's entire timeline, which means there's wars constantly, and then society collapses, and then rebuilds, and wars again, always happening, leading up to Gundam Turn X and Gundam Turn A. That said, Brian, this is a sinister, faceless-looking mobile suit. It has no mouth. It has no head crest. It has no eyes. It just has a dark visor, no mouth of any kind. It's alien in appearance, even more so foreign-looking than, or bizarre-looking, than Turn A, which at least has eyes and a mustache.
Right.
This, though, has nothing. And the photo I like of it the most is when it has like its claw open. That's the most sinister looking thing because that's like an alien type claw that it opens up in its little arm pod. So yeah. Turn X, you made the cut for being the most soulless, faceless looking, powerful Gundam technically in the UC.
That's a great pick. So 2 things here. This is a good time to tell the listeners that we will be doing another version of this list that only considers alternate timelines, not the UC. In my mind, for some reason, I sorted Turn A into that other bucket, and that's the reason I didn't put Turn X on this list. Otherwise, I definitely would have, because I think Turn X is a top tier design. I think it's great. It's, like you said, very alien.
Right.
It's very unsettling.
Otherworldly.
Yeah, absolutely. It's exactly what you need for that type of series. Right? If you're going for this sort of timeline spanning ancient technology type of thing, it is perfect. It is the perfect antithesis to the Turn A Gundam, which still somewhat resembles the Gundam that you're used to with the Gundam colors. And like you said, it has eyes, has the mustache sort of. And then you look at this thing and you're like, what in the hell? Like, this is bad news over here. I even like that it has that sort of, not Zeonic green, but it's the light greenish white.
Zombie skin tone.
Yeah, I love it. And there is a pretty good master grade of the Turn X. It's quite old at this point, but I think it still holds up very well. If they just don't reprint it very often. So I feel like the Turn X needs more love, Isaac. I don't see a lot of people talking about the Turn X.
No, but the only way that'll happen is if they do a dub of Turn A.
No, they're never going to do that.
I don't know. You never know. Its popularity might explode that way. So I think with AI, it's more within grasp than people care to admit.
I don't know. Did you see the AI dub for that show that was made the news this last week or 2?
No, what was it?
Oh, didn't go very well.
Yeah,
people were very upset.
Give it more time.
I forget the show. Yeah, I mean the companies are going to do it whether they're good or whether they like it or not. So, did you know you can also listen to? So YouTube did this thing where you had to go in and turn it off because everyone was complaining about it. But if you didn't turn it off, and let's say we had a listener in, I don't know, Greece, YouTube would automatically dub our podcast into Greek.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
But everyone was very upset because it wouldn't give them an option to go back to the English. And so the only way to get around it is you have to turn it off. So listeners, I turned it off because that seemed to be the popular consensus among podcast listeners.
Please.
The other countries, people saying, I just want to hear you, in your normal language. I don't want to hear you in this fake YouTube version. But yes, all that stuff is coming. They're going to force it down everybody's throats, whether you like it or not. So.
Well, that's not good.
The Turn X would destroy it, I guess, with its technology. But
hopefully it would. But yeah, I understand if some comments to this podcast might say, well, that's not a universal century. Yeah, you're right. But at the same time, you're also wrong. So everybody's right and wrong.
By that same token, Isaac, did you consider Reconquista? Because that technically, like Tomino says that takes place after Turn A. Sunrise says that takes place before Turn A. I did not consider that for this. I sorted that into the AU bucket in my head, but if we're allowing Turn A, I would also allow Reconquista for this episode.
I'd allow it, but I just decided not to even really give much attention to the designs in Reconquista and G. They're quasi G-Quux is how I would describe them. Just some of the proportions,
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
So what's next on your list, Brian?
Okay, I gotta choose now between number 2 and number 3. I don't have a strongly held opinion of which one's more evil, but I'm going to go with what I believe is a fan favorite. I'm not sure how many people have read or whatnot this series, but it is quite popular. I've talked about it many times on the podcast. I've sung its praises. I've sung the praises of the Master Grade Kit, and that is the ORX-13 Gundam Mk-V. This is piloted by Brave Cod of the new Desides, the antagonist of the 1987 photo novel Gundam Sentinel, published by Model Graphics magazine.
Wow.
Like, appearance-wise, this is a Gundam in almost name only because it does pretty much everything the opposite of Hero Gundams in everything. The proportions. It's got these big shoulders. It's got a big chest. It's got huge thrusters in the back. It's got big hips, big legs. It's thicker, but also more like alien and non-human. And the more you lean into that, the more you become non-hero-like, in my opinion. Even the beam rifle does not look like a hero's rifle. And the face is very Zeonic. It's very Neo-Zeon-esque, in my opinion. It kind of reminds me of like the Alpha Azaru's face, or some of the designs from like Double Zeta. And it doesn't even really follow the Gundam color scheme. It's almost entirely blue with little white accents. So it's blue dominant like the Titans. And yeah, I mean, this is on our list to read for 2026. We're gonna read it after we go through Zeta Gundam. This kind of takes place between Zeta and Double Zeta, for lack of a better description. So yeah, the Gundam Mk-V always makes my list for Evil Gundams. I think it's great, and can't recommend it enough in a model kit basis, because I think it really adds a pretty evil-looking Gundam to your collection.
I mean, this looks great. Part of me feels like it's almost like the sub-boss mobile suit, though. You know, the face, I feel like, isn't completely a Gundam face.
Sure.
But then again, with like Iron-Blooded Orphans, as we saw, they can really call a Gundam anything if they want to.
I mean, it's funny you mentioned that, Isaac, because they made 3 units, I believe, if I recall correctly. I explained this on another podcast, but I've already forgotten it. I believe they made 3 units, one of which was intended for Amuro, and they gave that a more normal Gundam-looking head.
Okay, yeah, I wonder why. To make it look more heroic, clearly. But
sure.
From what you read from Sentinel, are the new Desides colors essentially just a lighter blue than Federation Navy? I mean, than Titan's Navy blue?
I mean, I've not read Sentinel cover to cover. I've seen bits and pieces. I've looked at most of the designs for years, like most people. But I mean, this guy is the main antagonist. This is the boss.
Yeah.
So, he's floating the blue and white. So I'm going to say that this is their thing. I believe their symbol is blue and white. I mean, you can see their symbol. It's just the D. I believe it's on it. It's on the Mk-V's leg, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that looks like a D.
Yeah.
It's very Sentinel, though, with the big backpack, the big cylinders of extra fuel that you can easily jettison. I like it, though. I like how Sentinel went for, like, bigger and better. You know? God, look at the size of that. Is that a beam saber?
It's got a big one.
God, it's like a rolling pin for...
Yeah, it's like the Double Zeta beam saber, the rolling pin.
It's a beam baton. Wow. Little thick there, buddy, huh? That's a two-hander.
Isaac, when you make your Christmas cookies, like Isaac is a big Christmas cookie guy. Okay, listeners.
Can't get
Isaac,
enough.
would you buy a Double Zeta or a Gundam Mk-V rolling pin to use at home?
I think I would, and I would want it in the new Desides blue because nobody has a blue rolling pin.
Sure.
There's just a D on the side.
They make all kinds of Gundam merchandise. I guarantee you they do not make a Double Zeta or Mk-V beam saber rolling pin. You're welcome, Bandai. Get going on that next holiday season.
We could probably like 3D print one or Etsy one and then like show the tag Bandai as like we make cookies. They'll be like, oh, look at that.
There you go.
These Americans were pretty big fans.
All right, Isaac, what is your number 3?
Number 3 for me is also somewhat of a recent addition over the last few years.
Ooh.
Not too recent, but this Gundam was kind of purposely built to look evil.
All right.
That says it's not necessarily used by evil people all the time, at least, but it plays a pretty central role in the story, trying to be the opposite of the good guy Gundam. And this is the Gundam Unicorn 2 Banshee from
yes.
Gundam Unicorn. There's no way you can tell me this Gundam doesn't look evil because they painted it black. Black might be the most standard color of evil in a lot of fiction because it's the same color as darkness and night and decay. So yes, I chose Gundam Unicorn 2 Banshee. It's sinister looking, it's powerful looking, and it does not look like a good guy rushing over to help you.
I like the Banshee. It's a great pick. I almost put that on my honorable mentions list. Do you prefer the original version or like the, what's it called, the Norn version when it has like more stuff on the back?
Kind of the original. I think it looked more pure. We'll use the word pure.
You're simple kind of guy, all right.
Just out the gate, and it's the exact opposite of the Unicorn.
You know what's always struck me about the Banshee is I wish I liked the pilot a little bit more. I'm not a huge fan of Riddy. I'm not a huge fan of a lot of pilots in Unicorn in general, and particularly him. He's pretty insufferable in my opinion. But
I'd go a little further. I don't know why the writers did this, but he almost half hijacks the story because he starts his own arc like halfway through the series, absolutely. And you're like, "What are we doing? We're supposed to go with Benager." But that's for a different podcast, Brian.
Yeah, we're starting the Gundam Unicorn review early, but I totally agree. I wish I liked the pilot a little bit more. Maybe that's why it didn't make my list. I wish Riddy was more evil to deserve the Banshee.
Right, yeah.
Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. But one thing I've always wondered about the Banshee, Isaac, is like, people love the Unicorn, but how can you like the Unicorn more than the Banshee? The Banshee is cooler than the Unicorn in pretty much every respect.
I'd argue the Unicorn's colors, though, are better.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
man, I don't know. I like the Banshee with the black and gold. I mean, that's pretty cool.
True, but like there's something about that pink when the unicorn opens up and like powers up and stuff. Like that pink has a pretty cool factor to it. You know, it's the color of the beam sabers universally, a lot of beam weapons. There's a strength to that. But the Banshee being kind of Bumblebee colors is it's in the category of its own, because most of the time in almost any series you see your alternate universe, we don't see the black and the yellow. That's extremely rare anywhere in Gundam.
Yeah.
So maybe Zanskare, but nobody's a fan of Zanskare. So looking back now, I'm not sure these were the best colors for the Banshee, even though, yes, when you see it on screen, it does telegraph, this is not good.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I don't know, man. The pink doesn't do it for me on the unicorn because the unicorn has the different versions. The green at the end. There's also the blue that they sell for model kits. I think the blue one looks pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know. I think if I was gonna get a unicorn Gundam, I would get the Banshee for sure. So I like the pick. It's definitely evil. It's definitely like edgelord evil, I'm gonna say.
Yeah. I feel like you need them both, but they're both great.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
What's your number 2?
All right. Number 2. This is something we reviewed and talked about on the podcast. This is hailing all the way in the distant future from the Jupiter Empire, Isaac. It is the Amakusa, aka the Jupiter Gundam.
Wow.
This is the Jupiter-made Gundam that the Jupiter Empire created a bio brain from Amuro Ray's pilot data from the 1 Year War. They recovered his core fighter, and they had all of his, 1 Year War experience. Nothing beyond that, but I mean, that was pretty good. And then it had the bio brain inside, and it was encountered by our buddy Tobia and Gray Stoke. Good for the Earth Federation that they teamed up and destroyed the Amakusa and the bio brain factory, I believe, where the Jupiter Empire was manufacturing some of these things. And it was basically like I don't want to say drone, but there was no real pilot at the controls, Isaac. And the Jupiter Empire did eventually make more of them, somewhat mass produce them. However, they did not, after the loss of the BioBrain factory, they believe they had to put pilots in them, so they weren't quite as good. It wasn't like a bunch of Amuros running around anymore.
Damn.
But the actual suit, you said alien earlier. I mean, this one looks pretty damn alien, Isaac. It's got almost like bug antennas. It's painted in this sort of very drab gray or purple, depending on what depiction you see. It's got some green parts. It's very insectoid, and it's got these bulbous globes on it, and it has 2 eye holes, but only a mono eye, so the eye tracks between the eye holes, and that's super creepy. I like that. So you only ever see 1 eye in 1 socket.
Wow, like a mono eye almost.
Yeah, it's quite unnerving, and I don't like it. It's a terror. I mean, it almost did our heroes in. So this one gets points. I mean, this is flat out evil, right? You look at this thing, you're like, okay, like we're in trouble.
Completely, Brian. I have to say, this almost looks like it could be the number 1 choice because it's, as you said, it's insectoid. It has that bleached bone color gray that Jupiter suits use. Its shield is even like bizarre looking. Everything about this screams Jupiter. How they use like a lot of rounded kind of shapes to them. The 1 eye that's kind of always in the left socket. Maybe it moves to the right socket. I don't really remember what happened specifically, but it's not good.
No.
But yeah, man, it's great. I wonder how big the brain is if they had to like make an even larger cockpit in the middle for it. It must be pretty big.
Oh, I don't know.
It's not really old tech, so it can't be miniaturized yet. So
I believe for its time, it was a larger suit.
Ah, okay.
It was quite large in comparison to whatever Tobia was piloting at the time. Yeah. I believe it was the X1, the Skullheart.
Boy.
Yeah, I still think that would make a great little 30-minute, 45-minute OVA. That confrontation between Tobia, Judah, and this thing. This zombie Amuro.
I'd love this in a high grade. This would be amazing.
Get on it, Bandai.
3D print it. We know you can do it. All right. So
number 2, Isaac.
My number 2, fittingly, is the Gundam Mk-II, which we see in Zeta Gundam, Brian.
Yes.
Now, as you know, the Gundam Mk-II itself, sure, it doesn't look radically different than the original Gundam, especially in terms of like face and design. The face itself is still a pretty neutral looking face. It's not very emotional one way or the other. But the colors, Brian, the color psychology of the Mk-II really takes it into the evil territory, because this is almost like the flagship mobile suit for the Titans as far as a symbol.
Yeah.
And it is in Titan's navy blue It's got the red accents where they should be, but there's almost no white on it. It's just a sinister looking, oppressive force to be reckoned with, Brian. So I thought for the weight of it, you can obviously look at this, and even if you've seen all kinds of Gundams in other series and the Universal Century, you know that if you look at this is not a good thing to be fighting.
I love it. Yep, this was my third honorable mention that I figured you would have on your list, and I'm glad I didn't do it at the beginning. I agree wholeheartedly. I think this is a great pick. What I like about it is from the moment you see it on screen, you know that this isn't your friendly original Gundam. Because especially if you were watching Zeta Gundam for the first time back when it aired, or even in the 90s, there wasn't as many Gundam things to have watched. So what do you know as Gundam? You know the white one, the RX-78. And if you see this one, like you said, the color psychology, you're just like, uh-oh, these must be the bad guys. And to the extent that when the AU did use the one that out of the three that they captured, they had to repaint it, Isaac, just because they were like, I don't know, this seems a little evil. Like, let's go back to the normal color scheme. I also like that this one, the design still holds up today, in my opinion. There's a guy that I know who's kind of getting into the franchise, guy at my work, kind of got him into building the models. And then when he was looking through like models to buy, he saw this one and was like, oh, like, when he saw the Titans color, like it made him say, ooh. And so like clearly they did something right back then, and it's, whatever they did is still holding true today with that color psychology. So
yeah,
one thing on the face with this one I noticed is I feel like the original Gundam's eyes are not quite as slanted upwards, so it has a little bit more of a neutral thing. This one's not as menacing as some of the others on the list, but this one, the eyes are turned up just a little bit, and it does make it seem a little evil to me. So yeah, this is a great pick. I would even go so far as to call this, Isaac, the original evil Gundam.
Yeah, that's a great point. I feel like it's the face of a Gundam that would be the equivalent of like the officer wearing aviator sunglasses approaching your car.
There you go, yeah.
It's like, well, this probably isn't going to be the nice cop. So, Brian, we've arrived at number one. What is the number one chosen one by you, Brian? The number one evil-looking gun.
My number one evil-looking Gundam, which I don't know if people are going to agree with this. However, I feel very strongly that it is none other than the Crossbone X2, piloted by Zabine Shiro in most Crossbone Gundam.
Wow.
I feel like the use of just the color black and the shadows in the manga make this an extremely menacing looking suit. Every time you saw it on the page, even when Zabine was on the good guy's side, you knew, Isaac, that by the end of this series, you were going to have a showdown between Seabook and Zabine. I like that everything about this suit is menacing. You've got the color, the V-fin is like turned up a little bit, the crossbone thruster pincer things, those look extra menacing. Even into the Crossbone Gundam conflict, Zabine keeps his choice of weapon of the Shot Lancer back from the F91 days, and I feel like that also makes it look even more, menacing. And I like that it's very agile. It's not a big brute Gundam, like some of the other ones I listed.
Right.
The GPO-2 was really big, the Mk-V was really big. This one is like an all-rounder, and I just feel like it also fit Zabine really well, because you always felt Zabine was going to get away. He was always very underhanded, and again, just the use of the black and the whites in the manga, when you see it on screen, it always has white eyes and just a black face, and it makes it look like it's always covered in shadow, and you know that this is an evil guy just waiting at some point to turn evil in the series, and he does.
And boy, did he telegraph it, didn't he, Brian?
you knew it was coming.
He wanted everybody to know he was going to turn traitor at the drop of a hat. Oh my God.
He warned you, Isaac.
That series needs its own prequel to explain to us, I assume in Dorel's Revenge or whatever happened to Cardinal Babylonia, the downfall.
Right.
Explain to us how we got to Zabine in this way, because he was such a different guy just a couple years earlier. So
things went bad, Isaac.
Yeah. But what I like about this suit is it's one of the few suits, Brian, to do dark purple very well. Dark purple is almost exclusively held in monopoly by the Doms.
That's right.
I don't know how that happened or why things played out that way, but if you think about it, it's kind of weird how as common of a purple as color as purple, really we don't see it in even alternate universes or other parts of UC outside of the Dom. Green, we see a lot of green different places. Blue, sure. Even red. There's been Gelgoos and stuff that weren't given a Char that were red. But the purple, we almost never see purple. But this one, this Gundam X2, the Crossbone Gundam X2, I like how combined with the gold trim, it really gives off a very regal look to it. It's very fitting with old Crossbone, Cosmo Babylonia, and all the kind of vision Meitzer had to it, how regal it all looked originally, aristocratic. Sabine clearly took that to heart, and he still wants to be a lord.
It also has the red eyes that you like, Isaac.
There you go. Yeah. Evil red eyes, which are very rare on Gundams, I have to say. Now I guess I have to eat my own words because Gundam EX doesn't have the monopoly on red eyes. Now Gundam Crossbone X2 has the evil red eyes also.
To be fair, they're like 50, 60 years apart. And I mean, in the manga, obviously it's not colored, so you can't really tell. Most of the time in the manga, they're just white eyes because the rest of the suit's black. So
it even looks cool when it has like this sort of tattered beam cloak.
Oh, yeah. You got to have the beam cloak. How could I not mention the cloak, Isaac? That's a good 30% of the draw right there. You give it the cloak and the black color scheme. I mean, come on. We're full steam ahead, evil.
It's a villainous cape. I'd like to hear, though, from you, Brian, and the listeners, of course, in the comments. Is your headcanon that the reason they started throwing on beam cloaks on not just some of the Gundams in Crossbone, but also some of the sort of the mooks helping out the Crossbone fleet is because the animator really didn't want to spend so much time drawing like the legs, the shoulders and stuff. They just kind of they're on a deadline maybe and like get it done.
I feel like he said that. He said that in one of the. I feel like we talked about that. Yeah, I'm pretty. I could be wrong. If someone double check me on this, but I'm pretty sure he said that in one of the letters columns where he was like, "It's also great because then I just don't have to draw what's underneath the cloak."
I mean, it's pretty brilliant too, and also
it is.
It kind of works with the lore that like, well, there is advances in beam technology. We had beam shields, so why wouldn't we make a cloak that could actually stop a beam weapon?
Yeah.
That raises other questions though. Like, why don't you just make the suit out of that?
Well, they did say it only lasts like I think like after 10 shots or something. Like the cloak is useless at that point. It gets tattered up. But
okay, it's real life Kevlar really, where you're not going to be wearing that like multiple times. So.
No, yeah.
Okay, makes sense, Brian. Wow, number one, Brian. I gotta say. That was a pretty strong choice. Yeah, I can see how this was neck and neck though.
I'm shocked we don't have any of the same ones so far. This is pretty good.
Hang on.
Uh-oh.
I saved the best for last, buddy.
Oh.
The best for last. But going back to your list real quick, man, I think it's neck and neck between the Jupiter and the Crossbone X2.
Oh.
Wow.
Yep, they're both very evil. I mean, they're both around the same time. That time's just a good time, I guess, for evil Gundams, Isaac.
Yeah. Listeners, if you haven't read Crossbone yet, Brian's list should really reinforce why you should read it, just because of how great the designs are in it, especially if you like the forces of evil.
Yeah. I guess it does lean evil. I mean, even the Crossbone X1, you could argue, is a bit evil, right?
Yeah, it's a pirate.
Yeah.
It's a flying skull and crossbones. So. All right, Brian. My number one mobile suit should come as no surprise to anybody, and that is the number one evil-looking mobile suit on my list is the Gundam Unit 2, Brian.
No, yes. Oh, I forgot you didn't have it on your list. Of course it's number one. What was I thinking?
Of course. And no, I didn't pick it because it uses a nuke. All right. Or its role in 083, even though it's my favorite series and my first series. The reason I chose it is because the otherworldliness of its face, of its crest, the outline of it, the silhouette of it. Listeners, look at the silhouette of the face itself. That's nothing like any other Gundam. All the other Gundams, even some of the evil ones, they do sort of have a general outline that's consistent among them. But this suit, it's almost organic, I want to say, in its design. It's so bizarre, and it stands alone because they never made any other design that looked like this again. I don't know what happened to the team or the engineers behind it. You draw your own conclusions with how the Titans cleaned house. But it looks on its own because it's on its own. I chose it for that very reason. It's bizarrely alien looking, evil looking, without needing gnashing teeth or horns. And for that reason, it made the top of my list as a clearly evil mobile suit you identify the moment you see Unit 2 in the opening of Gundam 0083.
And going back to that color sort of design psychology, I think it's a great foil for Unit 1, right? Unit 1 is much more, I'll say, normal looking.
Yeah.
It's brighter. It's a little bit smaller. The GPO2 is not huge in the grand scheme. If you compare it to other suits, it's it's not quite as
Sure.
big, but it's much bigger. It's got a lot more heft than Unit 1. So showing those two next to each other, that's great psychology for the viewer, right? You can clearly tell who the bad guy, who the good guy is. And to your point on the design, why they never made another one, I will recall for you listeners that Unit 1, Unit 2, and the Albion were all designed by Shoji Kawamori, who's the creator of Macross. He didn't design anything else for the show, I believe. I believe those are the only three that he worked on. So that could be why, Isaac. I mean, I will say it doesn't seem like a coincidence that the most evil Gundam on your list was designed by someone who normally does not design Gundams.
Well, that explains it all then. And why we've never seen it since. You know,
right.
There's been no equal to it, nothing to carry on, no successor to the GP Unit 2 in terms of design, because the designer's, he's not really in the Gundam verse anymore after that. But color-wise, Brian, yeah, you pointed out that Unit 1, bright, nice colors. Unit 2, they dulled the colors but kept them the same. So it's very much the more sinister, brooding big brother.
I like it. Yeah, it's a great choice. And you know, Isaac, as I was looking around today, I noticed that there was another Unit 2 made later on.
Really?
Someone reproduced it. Yeah, it was. God. Let me find it.
Cohen's Revenge.
They obviously did not equip it with the nuke again. They equipped it with something else called the MLRS, which stands for something, I believe. It stands for...
Multiple Launch Rocket System?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh.
The wiki says the MLRS type was one of the multiple weapon plans for the Gundam Physilis. The equipment was designed for destroying Zeon remnants still hiding in Africa. Although it was not completed in time for the field test at Torrington Base, it had enough firepower to destroy an entire city. And then in Mobile Suit Gundam Katana, which is a manga series, the Gundam Physilis was reproduced and equipped with the MLRS, reduced to 5 units, as well as the beam bazooka. It was piloted by someone named Kanesada Tsurugi. So if we ever read Mobile Suit Gundam Katana, which takes place in, I believe, UC 0084, apparently there is a second Unit 2, Isaac. I don't think you'll like the new pilot as much as Gato, but that's probably impossible. However, you might be able to see it one more time. And I believe some of these other equipment packs are used in the 0083 Rebellion manga, which is a slightly altered retelling of 0083. So I believe they get a little more Unit 2 action in that manga.
Well, I'm glad the design lived on. I'd like to read those side stories. Sounds really interesting that they purpose-built a Gundam to go after the Africa remnants, which we assume till now everybody just kind of ignored.
You know, that's kind of like horrifying, though, if you think about it. Like, what was Cohen's plan? He's like, all right, we're going to attack the remnants by just dropping missiles on their general location. Like, he's just not even going to directly engage them.
Cohen, I'm sensing a pattern. You really like missiles.
He seems like a nice guy, but really, when you look at his actions, I don't know.
In his defense, none of his plans were like, take over the Earth sphere or, Earth noise or superior. It was more, well... I got a job to do, and it's to get rid of the Zeon.
He was a big button pusher, he just wanted to push the button, fire the missile, and kind of walk away.
Well, listeners, that's our list, but what do you think are the top 5 evil-looking Gundams in the Universal Century? Did you agree with our picks? Were we completely out of the ballpark? Or do you agree with mostly our ranking?
We covered some good ground there, Isaac. I'd be interested to hear if the listeners think we missed like an obvious one.
Ooh, yeah.
I felt like I cast a pretty wide net on this one. I did more looking than I probably should. So yeah, I'd be interested what you all think. I think we got a good list though.
Yeah, between you and me, Brian, I think if we had to pick an alpha out of our list, a 0, as in the highest number.
Oh, yes.
I'm going to have to give it to the Jupiter.
Ooh, that Jupiter just really scratches a certain evil itch for Isaac.
Yeah, it's just like the Unit 2. It's in a category all on its own, but since it's pure Jupiter, that must mean it's pure evil.
Score 1 for old Crux Dogady, or whoever was running Jupiter at the time. I believe it was...
his brother?
Was it Shadow and Light, I believe, at the time? Callisto's Shadow, yeah.
I don't remember. Oh, my God.
Oh boy. Yeah. But yeah, we do have those episodes on Crossbone, everybody. We have separate episodes on Crossbone, Crossbone Skullheart, and Crossbone Steel 7, all of which are really good. We will do the other Crossbones someday. We just haven't got to them. I think we're going to focus on the Zeta era this year, Isaac. Yeah. So
right after we finished G Gundam.
Yes, Isaac is feverishly finishing up G Gundam so we can finish off that before heading off into the Zeta era.
I pop some acid, I close my eyes, and I hit play.
It's pure torture. So, all right, listeners, those were our lists. Let us know your thoughts, like Isaac said. And Isaac, take us away.
All right, listeners, before you go to sleep tonight, stand next to your bed. Get on your knees, look up at the ceiling, put your hands together, and hail Crossbone Gundam Skull Heart. What was it called?
Yeah, Skull Heart. That was the one.
Hail Crossbone Gundam Skull Heart.
Good night, everybody.